What's going on, guys? So this is going to be an interesting video. I've been getting a lot of comments from folks who think I'm putting out too much content on living vehicle RVs. You know, arguably probably the best built RV, best manufactured RV I've ever seen, ever. It's absolutely insane, and I point that out in a lot of these videos. So let's talk about that, and we'll treat this as kind of an intermission between the videos you've seen and the videos that are going to come out still. Hang tight, I'll be right back. All right, so I was out there about a week and a half ago filming, and I filmed a lot of content in 2 days, 14 videos in 2 days. For a content creator, that's like amazing, because it means I was hustling every single moment while I was out there to try to get as much content as possible. But you know what? When you're filming at a place like Living Vehicle in Santa Barbara, it's super easy to get a lot of content. It was a bit of a reprieve from Texas right now, which is dealing with insanely hot temperatures. Like right now it's over 100 degrees with a heat index of like 120. So being outside in like 65, 70 degree weather, it was easy to spend time outside and talk about their brand and do all sorts of different things that normally you might rush just because it's so unbearably hot outside. So I tried to capture as much content as I could, and that was very easy to do because there's a lot you can talk about when you're talking about RVs that are conventionally towed, and they have one gooseneck, but that range between $300,000 and $850,000. So I did not want to go out there and just, hey, look, here's a couple videos on things. I needed to justify my time out there. So this wasn't one of those collaborations where it's like, you know what, I'm going to drop a couple $1,000s on a flight and a hotel so I can go out, film some content that may or may not, you know, be a hit. If it's not, then I've wasted money and I have content which you all like, but even though this content is free to you, it costs me money to produce. So I work with manufacturers and I work with companies and they pay for that. You know, even when you're reviewing trucks and other vehicles as well, the manufacturers fly you out to their location, they put you in a hotel and they get you set up so you can go out there and not worry about the financial aspect of shooting content. Because as much as YouTube can pay people, it doesn't pay enough to actually justify flying all over the place and buying all the different things that people expect you to go out and buy just so you can review it to make content. So just want to throw that out there. I was paid to come out there, but it was made very clear from the very beginning, just like everything I do, I am not going to just brag about a product if I see problems. I'm going to give my complete, honest, unbiased review of anything that I review. I always do that. So it's not one of those things where I'm like flying out there and they're like, okay, here's a script. This is what you need to say. To be honest with you, I was just blown away with the product I saw. Everyone always talks about how the RV manufacturing industry should be more like the automotive manufacturing industry. And I made a video on this like years ago talking about if an RV were built like a vehicle, it would be like $1 million+. Just the amount of research and development that go into changing from like a 2011 Super Duty to a 2017 Super Duty is like over $1 billion. The RV industry probably spends a couple $1,000s to literally change from one floor plan design to another. That's just how it is. It's a whole different animal. You're not dealing with the same type of technology and engineering that goes into a vehicle. So to be able to go out and film a manufacturer that is probably the closest I've ever seen to the fit and finish and tolerances that you see in a vehicle like a pickup truck or a car was pretty awesome, you know. So that was the main gist behind it, but then demonstrating to you what you get at that price. Now if you stripped off all the technology, all the solar panels, all the batteries, all of that stuff, the unit would be significantly less expensive because they put a lot of that in. And if you've ever done a big solar upgrade to your RV, you know that even the cheap stuff can get pretty dang expensive pretty quickly. That said though, there's so much to view about these RVs, and that was the reason why I produced so much content. I produced like 14 videos in 2 days worth of filming. That's no lie. Like 14 videos in 2 days. I was hustling while I was up there. I was moving around. I was constantly saying, okay, let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about this. And the overarching message from them was, JD, we want your feedback. We want your review. We want you to tell us how you feel about the product. We know about our product. We have videos on it. People can check out, you know, their channel and they can see all sorts of information. They wanted me to tell them in a completely unbiased, open air environment what I thought about Living Vehicle. And that's what I shared. I was super enthusiastic about it. Are the floor plans perfect? No. The floor plans to me are good floor plans, but there's a lot of really cool floor plans. Like we love our Coachman Brookstone. The floor plan inside, it's 42 feet long. It's got a second bedroom. It's got a full living room. I mean, you're not going to get that in a living vehicle. Living vehicles are compact units designed to be parked on a beautiful piece of property and left there for like ever, until you need to replace things like batteries or solar panels eventually. But the main body of the unit, they're built exceptionally well to pretty much last you forever. And that's actually their goal. What other RV manufacturer can make that claim? Now, I'd actually ran a poll on my channel asking folks if they thought I talked too much in these videos, if they thought I was, you know, I needed to quiet down a little bit and let everyone else talk, and what people thought about the videos I'd been producing. And believe it or not, the folks who actually criticized my videos, they're literally the smallest percentage of respondents to that poll. I think there's been well over a couple thousand responses to that poll, and people are pretty much saying, do it the way you're doing it. We enjoy the content by a huge factor. I mean, the folks, again, who left negative comments saying you talk too much, or you're paid off to say good things, or all this stuff, you know, honestly, it's just the vocal minority, how loud the vocal minority can generally be. Anyways, all that said, I got more videos on living vehicle because honestly, if you want to talk about truly the best built RV that I've ever seen, I've ever walked through, I've ever reviewed, and I've reviewed some very, very, very expensive motorhomes and fifth wheels, it's got to be living vehicle. I mean, again, tolerances, fit and finish, how everything was designed, how it was assembled, how it's designed to last, how things are so much closer and even in some ways exceed the automotive industry. And again, when could you have ever said that in the past? So for all the videos that I've made out there, just understand that there's a reason why we made those videos. One, I had the content to make because there's so much to talk about. There's so many good things going on with that product. But keep in mind, you're going to pay for it. It's going to be super expensive. It's way out of my budget. I will never own a living vehicle because I can't afford it. Most people can't afford it. It's an extremely expensive premium vehicle. It's like going out and saying you're going to buy a Rolls Royce. You might watch a video on it. Does it mean you can afford it? No, but there's a lot of people buying Rolls Royces because that's the level that they're looking for. Whether the fit and finish quality is as good as, you know, a $20,000 Chevy, who knows? But what I can tell you is that the buyer of a living vehicle is generally a business owner, maybe a doctor, maybe someone who, you know, owns a company that builds something and they have high expectations of whatever they buy. Those are the people buying those. And yes, they probably have a little more disposable income. Yes, they're probably in a position to where they're more comfortable to do it, but it doesn't mean there's not someone buying that product. Just like someone made a comment on a video, you can go out to Lowe's and pick up, you know, a $100 drill, or you can order a Festool and get, you know, like a $800 drill. Why would somebody buy an $800 drill when they can get a $100 drill when they both do essentially the same thing? Well, there are differences, and there's reasons why companies and brands like Festool are doing so well and specifically tailored to a specific clientele. And oftentimes it's the cabinetry people, it's the carpenters, it's the folks who are looking for the very best of the best. So there are buyers out there, and you shouldn't judge a product just because you can't afford it. I don't. And I Lord knows, I film a lot of RVs that I can't afford, and I give them my unbiased opinion. And in my opinion, living vehicle has just surpassed everything else when it comes to conventionally towed RVs and even non-conventionally towed RVs. It really surpasses everything else simply because the owners of the company wanted to produce a product that surpassed everything else. And when you do it, price goes along with that, mainly because you're now talking about sourcing materials. You're talking about manufacturing something at a much, much, much lower level, at a much slower level, to tolerances that have never been seen before in the industry, and doing it in a way to where you don't have the buying power of your Forest Rivers or your Berkshire Hathaways or your Thor or Winnebagos or these other brands. You just don't have that buying power. And if you don't, you're not ordering 20,000 cabinets each month. You're ordering, 10. And you have to have a specialized manufacturer who can produce that at the level you're looking for. These aren't Harbor Freight knockoffs. These aren't even Snap-on knockoffs. These cabinets are above and beyond any mechanical cabinet I've ever seen in a trailer before. And that's just my opinion of it. I'm being honest with you. I'm not trying to sugarcoat anything. When you add all of those construction perks up, and then the box, the way that thing is built, the structure, the fact that an architect actually said, this is how we want it built, cost be damned, we are going to build it to the best and highest possible tolerances and in the highest possible mechanical and engineered way we can build it, while trying to still reduce weight where we can, but not focusing on that and focusing, number one, on longevity, well, you get a living vehicle. And that's the reason why I film so much content on it. Anyways, guys, I sure hope this helps explain why I was out there, why I shot so much content in such a short period of time, because there was just so much content to shoot, and I wanted to maximize my time out there. And I wanted to really just show you all, you know, that overarching message here. If you want the very best of the best, and you want a focus on quality, and really just solely focused on quality, even putting cosmetics aside, living vehicle is the one for you. I mean, it's going to be outside of most people's price range and their expectations. But again, does that mean it's a bad thing? If you're the best carpenter in the world, or you are the best mechanic in the world, do you charge like you're the best mechanic in the world? That's the question you need to ask. Anyways, guys, I hope you enjoyed this video. We'll get back to the living vehicle stuff to finish it all off shortly. Guys, if you haven't had a chance, please take a moment, subscribe to the channel, give me a thumbs up, and we'll talk to you again very soon.